welcome to the first video in my new series on Astro-Sanskrit, the important astrological terminology used in Indian astrology. And today, let's cover the most important words: Graha, Bhava, Rashi, Nakṣatra. And let's also do Yoga, Angsha, and Karka. Okay, let's start with Graha. This word comes from the root grih, which means to grasp. It's cognate to English, grasp. And just as the word in English, grasp, has many different connotations, so does the word in Sanskrit, graha, have many different connotations. And just as you kind of mess things up if you use the wrong connotation of the word, or if you take the wrong connotation of the word, you can really mess up a sentence or a statement. Same way you can really mess up your understanding of astrology if you take the wrong context of the word grasp and why it's used for the word planet. Most people say that Graha means that the planets are grabbing you, grasping you, seizing you, holding you. You can't get out of their grip. It means it's completely in opposition to the Siddhanta of Vedanta. It's completely against the philosophical conclusions of the Vedanta, and we're claiming that this is Vedic astrology, so we should pay some attention to the Siddhanta of Vedanta. Well, the Siddhanta of Vedanta is that consciousness is free. It's the karna. It's the cause of all causes without a cause itself. But then what does it mean? It means grasp. Just like in English we say, do you grasp the subject? The word graha is always used in Sanskrit to mean understand or grasp a subject. So what do the planets do according to the Siddhanta? The planets are the observers or the witnesses of your deeds. They grasp, they understand what you've done. And therefore they grasp or understand what the results are going to come to you. They grasp or understand your karma. Okay, that's the real meaning of the word graha. Now let's look at the word bhava. This comes from the most important Sanskrit verbal root bhu. Bhu forms bhava, which means to exist. And bhava forms bhava, which means a place of existence, like a house. That's actually what it's used for. It's used for the astrological houses. So the house is a place where you exist. And the bhavas are the places in the sky where the planets exist. So those places are called the bhavas. Simple, right? Now let's go to Rashi. Rashi means a big lump. A Rashi is a lump of angshas. What's an angsha? An angsha is an integral part. It means fragment or integral part. The jiva, the soul, is angsha of Bhagavan. Mamai vangsh jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. All these living things are my amshas. They're integral parts of me. It's like what Bhagavan is to the jiv, then the Rashi is to its anshas. The Rashi is the collection of all these anshas, or even of all these bhagas, all these degrees. It's a collection of 30 degrees. That's all it is. It's not something concrete, it's just a collection of degrees of anshas. It's a mathematical construct. And if you say, why doesn't it mean a collection of stars? Well, it could mean that. But that's not the way the text like Surya Siddhanta defined the word Rashi. They say it's a collection of degrees. It's a collection of anshas. It could be a collection of your underwear. It could be a collection of socks. Or it could be a collection of stars. But it's not. There's another word for a collection of stars. And in fact, let's look at that word now. That's the word Nakṣatra. Naksh means, it's a verbal root meaning go, like gum. Nakṣatra. Tra is the suffix that means the maker. So Nakṣatra is the maker of the place where you'll go. So that's why the Nakṣatra are the things which make the heavens, because that's the place where you're going to go after you die. And that's the place where the Devatas live. The devas reside in the heavens. They reside in the Nakṣatra. Astrologically speaking, the word Nakṣatra means the things which make space, in other words, the stars. So it literally means, Nakṣatra literally means sidereal. Even if you look in the English Sanskrit dictionaries, one of the literal meanings for Nakṣatra is sidereal, or stellar, in deep space. So it means the things which make space. That constitutes the stars and the planets as well. But the planets get their own name as Graha because they have the consciousness. They have ability to move around and experience and perceive things. They look like people because they move in the sky. And then the rest of the stars, they just keep their generic name, Nakṣatra. Okay, now let's do yoga. Yoga means when two things are joined together. There's many, many contexts for it. Sometimes it means when you get something good, then you get a yoga. Like if you get a degree, then you become yogi, a university degree. If you have a good quality, then you're a yogi too. You have that quality. Or yoga in classical Indian philosophy means to get the self linked to the Paramatma, to the super self. When in astrology, yoga means when two things come together, two or more things come together. And they're all just ways in which multiple symbols come together. So yoga is like saying, okay, you can interpret this symbol in this isolation and that symbol in that isolation. Now how do you bring them all together to form one picture? That's what yoga is all about in astrology. And now how about karaka? We could finish with that one. So the karaka just means the one who's going to do it, the one who does something. So if you had to say this planet is the such and such karaka, it means it's the person that planet is the one who acts on behalf of such and such subject. Like if you say this is a putra karaka, this is the person who will act on behalf of the putra, of the children. So this planet represents children. Or you might say this is the fifth house karaka. Then this is the planet that acts on behalf of the fifth house or acts in the same way that the fifth house does. That's what karaka means.